Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Genoa Kush. If this is your first time coming across a video of mine, welcome here. I hope you stay and I hope you subscribe. If you're a returning viewer and a subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Today I want to talk about memories with my grandmother. My grandmother's name is exactly like my name. The person naming me was not even creative. They were not aware that you can change the first name. They just copy pasted the whole name. Jane, surely. Anyway, I have both my grandmother's names, and she's the one who raised me since I was 6 months old up to 7 years. Mimi ni mtoto wa shosho. So definitely I have a lot of memories from those years. Plus there's a time we lived with her when I was in high school. So quite a number of memories. One thing that I remember is when I was in class 1 and nursery after school, we used to live in the village, of course. And then we were living like somewhere here, and then there's a whole slope, and then there's a river here. So by the river bank, we had a shamba where we were farming sweet potatoes for breakfast. So most of the time when I come from school, she used to be uko Kianda by the river. So I will come, stand here, and then call out, "Shoo, shoo," so that she can know that I'm home and she can come up to open the doors and do whatever. Because I was just a child, I have arrived, come cook for me and do the other things. And sometimes I remember when I call her, she will reply, "Nenya makanirukori." I don't even know what that means. Imagine calling someone and that's how they reply, and maybe you had something important to tell them. I don't think she used to reply akiwa huko chini, but now when we are around the house and I call her, she will be like, "Nenya makanirukori," of which I sort of get it, because you can imagine how many times a child will call you for nothing, like they're just calling you mom, 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 and they're not even saying anything. So they're sure. But honestly, sometimes I was calling her because I have something to say, and then you are hit with "Ninya makanero kori." Sometimes, depending on the willpower, I will just keep whatever I had to myself, or I will just go ahead and tell her. But that was so dismissive of her. What does that mean? I know it's dismissive, but what does it really mean? Rokorini, the skin of an animal. I don't know. Another thing that I remember, there's a time we were coming from the neighbor's house. So our next door neighbor, there was a path that was connecting the two homesteads, an informal path across the fence. You know, those paths that you'll wake up in the morning and someone has decided to close it, and then after 2 weeks it's accessible again. This one time we used the main road for some reason, and then we were running and she wasn't chasing after me. We were actually competing. That was so much fun. I think I lived the rest of my life in the village wishing that it happened again. It was such a core memory for me. I think it's the one time I remember being genuinely happy around her. You know, when you're in the village as a child, it was almost illegal for you to be doing nothing. That you're just seated and there are chores to be done and you're not doing them. So it's the one time that I was not being told to do something or being beaten for not doing something. Speaking of beating, we had a kitchen. It had the 3 firestones, and there were benches, a bench on this side and then a bench on this side, and the 3 firestones are at the center. And so the cook is sitting on this side, of which the cook was my grandmother, and then I am sitting on this other side. And then here there is what is supposed to be a granary, but then it had firewood, but not the thick logs, the tiny ones. So anytime I do something silly, she will just pull one, kamoshamio, pull one, and then beat me with it. So what I had mastered was snatching the stick from her and breaking it into pieces, throwing it away, and then she will go for another one, and I think that only made her furious. Well, I wasn't doing myself justice, but it became some sort of game. So every time she's beating me, I will snatch it from her, break it into pieces, throw it away, and then she will pick another one, and then I would run and she would run after me. I think that's how I was replicating that initial memory of us running together, but now she was running after me to beat me. I had my bench on this side, and then she had hers on this side in the kitchen. So at night after supper, I will sleep on my bench, or sometimes just pretend to sleep so that she can carry me to bed. Sometimes she used to carry me even when I'm pretending, and other times, even when I am asleep for real, she'll just wake me to take myself to the bed. I think it depended on her mood. There was this trick that I used to play on her. I am on my side. I think all these memories now are just in the kitchen. I am on my side of the kitchen, the fireplace. She's on her side. Then, when she was boiling milk, and she's doing other things, maybe doing dishes or just zoned out, I will tell her, Shushairia, Shushairia, Shushairia. And then she will go to, remove the milk, the pot from the fireplace, and the milk has not even started boiling. Sometimes it's just like she has just placed the sufuria over the fire, and then I'm there like, Shushairia, Shushairia. And then she will realize it's not even boiling. Right this moment, I've remembered the matusi she used to tell me. Gati gaka. Gati inamaanisha nini? Nilitusiwa. Shushairia. Gati gaka. And depending on how angry she is, she will pick a stick to beat me with it. And then we'll play that game. I had a boring childhood. I was not supposed to go to neighbors' houses to play with children. So I think this is how I learned to entertain myself with her. Every time that I needed to go somewhere, I would ask for permission and then report back. The rules were clear. If you want to go somewhere, tell me. Not even tell me, come ask for permission. So I'll be like, Shusho, I want to go to Kina. And most of the times the answer was no. So sometimes I used to do my calculations and I will see it's easier to come ask for forgiveness or just come take a beating instead of mentioning that I'm going and then being told not to go. My main diet in the village was milk. We had a cow. And I was a baby, so I used to take fresh milk and mokimo. Like, mokimo was a constant. Even when I used to carry lunch to school, it will just be mokimo. Rarely was it ever rice, sijui nyama, such things were a luxury. Like, the way you used to eat chapatis during Christmas, and yeah, that was a real thing, even if we joke about it. Mokimo and milk. Mokimo, milk. Where were we getting our proteins from? Or the milk? Na nyeni sasa. Obviously, mokimo inapikwa na greens. Not greens, mafake na hadha. The greens that I used to mash mokimo. Then on the side, we were not even having cabbage. It used to be terere. Everything was from the shamba. And then the milk was from the cow. So we just used to buy salt and mafuta ya that kalantan kagwatira and maybe takubwa, and not sugar. We didn't use sugar in our tea. Ilikuwa ndufia. Wow, any of those memories are coming back. That life, and it was not even a bad life when you're living it. Not thinking back to it, it was, oh yeah. But anyway, that's the life that most of us experienced. When I used to get homas, there was this concoction that Shosho would make for me. It was maziwa na mayai, milk and eggs, raw eggs. So the raw eggs are beaten and mixed together with milk, and I will take that. It wasn't disgusting as such, not thinking about it, like I can't imagine myself having to take it. It will be nasty, but I think I got used to it, plus probably it used to work. There is this one time that I had gone back to the village. So during school holidays or some school holidays, my mom will come get me, and then I will come to Nairobi for a few weeks, maybe the entire holiday or 2 weeks. And then when I went back to the village, I would feel homesick. Like I am at home, but I'm feeling homesick because I don't want to be here. I want to be with my mother. Or maybe my cousins will come during the holidays and then they go back, and I will feel so lonely when they went back. That feeling when you have people around and then everyone leaves and now you're left alone. So there's a time I was behind the house crying, and she found me crying. That time I had come from Nairobi, and she told me, if you didn't want to come back here, why didn't you just stay and remain there? Now you're crying so that I can do what? Gosh. I think I just stopped crying just as no one is sympathizing with me, and this is life. And anyway, I had not mentioned that I don't want to go back. It had not crossed my mind that I will feel that lonely when I got back to the village. Oh yeah, little Wairimu. Oh, that's my other name. Our other name, me and my Shosho. People used to call Shosho Wakegara, meaning daughter of Kegara. And since I am named after her, they will also call me that. And I hated that name. So I used to sulk every time someone calls me that. I had enemies just because they used to call me that name, and they knew it. So they used to just call me so that they can irritate me. I had this look that I will give people if someone is irritating me. I hated that name, but it was her name. I never accepted it. Some people still call me that, and yeah, whatever. I think it's just one uncle who gets pleasure from calling me that nowadays. Up to class 7, I was in the village, and then I moved to Nairobi to live with my mother. And I used to feel woye for her because now she was left alone. But sasa mimi sitaki kwenda kukaa huko na yeye, so I will just feel sorry for her, but tutadu. Then she was diabetic, so at some point her health deteriorated so much she couldn't live alone. It was so bad that she would collapse. She's in the house alone, and you know, Shosho's like hatakaa tu kwa nyumba the entire time. She'll want to go dig in her shamba or do something. So she will collapse in the shamba, she will collapse in the compound. And unless she comes out of it on her own or someone happens to pass by and finds her unconscious, it was bad. So it got to a point that it was either we get someone to live with her And I think we tried that. Okay, I was not even involved in that process. I was not comprehending it well because I was in school, and then I was just a child. So she got someone to live with her, but unajua tu wamama wa kazi, they will steal things, they will leave without saying they are going. It was a lot of work. So she came and we were living with her. So now I knew she had that history of collapsing, and even around the house, she will just collapse. Maybe her sugar levels are too low. We used to share a room, so sometimes I'll just listen to make sure I can hear her moving around or breathing. I think I was in constant fear of her, having those episodes like losing consciousness or her blood sugar falling to such low levels that she will be unconscious. With time, I got comfortable with the fear because I knew what to do in case that happened. Initially, okay, mostly when she was in the village, it will take people carrying her, like a taxi being called and people carrying her into the taxi so that she could be rushed to the hospital. But when we were living with her, we'll just mix sugar or glucose with water and force her to drink that so that she can get better. Rarely was she ever rushed to the hospital. And then she will be injected with insulin every morning and evening. I had to learn how to do that. Uh, I don't think I knew how to do it right because she will wince. Like she felt pain every time I did it. I don't know if she reacted the same when my mom would inject her. When we were living with her, I used to feel so sorry for her because she's just in the house. She's not doing anything, and there are no cows to look after. She can only get out of the house, take a walk, come back. Like she was bored. I think she was bored, or I thought she was bored because I was projecting. I imagined myself in such a situation where I am not in such good health to go about my day as I would love to, and there's nothing I can do about it. So she will just sit and watch TV and move around. At some point, I tried conversing with her, and even if I am in the house with her, it's not like we'll talk that much because, as much as we had lived together for those years, we didn't have that bond. I think the people around me, or rather my family members, they just don't know how to converse with people such that you bond and you can talk about things. We just exist in the same space for the most part. So that was us existing in the same house for the most part. And I felt like I need to talk to her or we should have fun conversations. So at some point, I started engaging her, asking about people from her family. Let me call it her family because damn, I don't think I can identify anyone from my grandmother's side, like her parents. Not that they are alive, but her sisters and her brothers and their children. I don't have connections to that side of the family, so I will ask her about them and about my cousins that I know are my cousins, but however many times people describe to me how we are related, I don't get it. What do you mean the grandfather's mother and my grandfather's sijui sister were what? I don't get it. It's such a long history, not even a long history, a complicated one. So there are people that I know are my cousins, but if you ask me how we are actually related, I can tell you, I don't know. I don't get it. The people that I get are my grandfather's brother. Just one brother that I know of. Gosh, I think I'm just disinterested in knowing other people. I know about my grandfather, his two kids, and us, the children, and his brother and the children. Other people, I just know we are related. I don't know how we are related. I used to engage her to just to get her talking so that we can converse and so that I can sort of entertain her. She will start explaining and then I will sort of zone out because it's getting complicated. I think people should draw a family tree. Let's say my grandfather aandike jina yake kwa pepa hapo, aandike bibi yake, aandike watoto wako nao, and then those kids should write like there should be such family trees so that kids can be able to trace relations, and then maybe families that are related can share those charts. Are you following? Is it making sense? Because what do you mean they are my cousins? How are we related? Yeah, exactly. And then that should also be in an app. Yeah, so that you can search someone and then trace the history. What tech? That's an idea. When we were living with Shosho, she made friends around the estate. She had so many friends by there. People were constantly coming to visit her and they would pick her stories, they would read the Bible, they would pray. She had such good friends. And even if I knew she was getting bored maybe during the day, I was comforted to know there are times when people will visit her. And even if me, I really don't like guests like that, especially people who we are not going to talk with, like people who are not my friends. It was so nice of them to come visit her. And then she was such an active church member. She will even be, you know, the way kuna harambe PCA, watu wa PCA, mutaratara. Haya, she will be the one championing, inaitwaje, harambe, like yeye ndo anaokota pesa, yeye ndo anachangamsha watu watoe pesa, and people will give money when it's her turn to do those harambes for the church. She had some fun moments. Of course, when people visit, they will give her some money. So she had some money, like she's in the house, she's not going anywhere. So she will give, I think she will give some of it to my mom. But when I was going back to school, I was in high school and then campus when we were living with her. She will give me 200 bob or 500 bob as pocket money. That was so nice. When I was going to campus, she gave me one piece of advice that stuck with me throughout. She told me not to wash clothes for boys in campus. I go study. I didn't wash clothes for anyone in campus. I think if she hadn't warned me, I would have done that. Since my love language is acts of service, I will probably have washed clothes for someone as a love language. I didn't. Maybe like one thing that was left in the house and I am doing laundry anyway, but never a full load of laundry. In second year, I got my nose pierced. And then I came home. And she saw it. She was so angry about it. I remember she said one statement. Oh, Tamaraya, Oriamekaga. That translates to just like prostitutes do. I was not even offended. I think I wasn't offended because there weren't other people around when she said that. You know, there's someone can say something so hurtful to you, and then other people hear it and it stings. It stings, but mostly because other people have witnessed. I was not offended because I get where she was coming from. Like to them, these things were things that you're not supposed to do. More like how your parents would react to a tattoo or, piercings. But why that was an extreme statement. Sure, it's just for beauty, gosh. I don't know if I have ever said this out loud. Uh, when she was moving from the village to come live with us, she was so frail and then she had so many unconscious moments. I thought she was in her last years, and then she came to live with us. She got so much stronger and healthier. Yes, she was weak. She couldn't actually move things around or move around that much, but she looked so healthy. And I got comfortable, like that fear went away. I got comfortable to having her around. So hey, when she passed on, it was unbelievable because she looked so strong, and then she had this will to her, like she was so full of life. Have you ever seen a person who is not in good health, but you know how strong they are in will and in spirit? And you can't believe that death can take them away. Yeah, so I was in campus. I remember we were doing exams. We were in between exams. No, we were about to start exams. Yeah, it was a week before the exams, and then the burial was set on a day that, by good luck, I didn't have a paper, but it was like I have a paper today, then tomorrow is the burial, and then I have another paper the day after. So I even just got home in the evening, traveled in the morning, and then went back to school in the evening after the burial. So during the Mashakaya process, I only came once during the weekend before exam. And I was tasked with writing and reading the eulogy. That was my first time ever, and I didn't exactly break down while reading it, but I had a moment where tears just came to my eyes. ah, it was something, writing an eulogy, like knowing the details to include and the nonsense not to include, and how to make it light but also touch on the person that she was and not make it about yourself. But my campus friends really came through for me in writing that eulogy and even accompanying me to the burial. Like, that almost made me cry because, guys, we had a paper yesterday. They were my friends and they were my classmates, plus we're in the same campus. So if it's exam period, then it means other units still, other courses have exam around the same period. So, like, we had an exam yesterday, we have an exam tomorrow, and you're insisting on coming with me to the funeral. Oh, it had crossed my mind, but I was okay with them not accompanying me because it was exam period, but they did, and it was so nice of them. I only got to know about this one recently. I mentioned that when we were living with her, she had a lot of friends, people coming to visit her. She had this one very close friend who is a neighbor, and she mentioned to me just recently that Shosho once told her, or rather asked her, sasa utaacha tu huyu msichana, huyu mtoto apotelee tu hivyo. I don't know how to translate that to anything, but I get what it means. I think according to Shosho, like, this friend of hers was doing well in life and she was sort of afraid of what my life will come to. And let's just say she was seeking destiny helpers for me, because that friend of hers, who is also my friend now, really came through for me in a big way. Yeah, those are the memories with my grandmother. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, engage with me in the comment section. See you on the next one. Bye.